If you knew morning wood, then you know why I feel blue. Without morning, my morning wood. Oh, well, I love you, yes, I love you, morning wood. Morning wood, morning wood. Oh, how my heart yearns for you. Oh, morning, my morning wood. Oh, well, I love you, yes, I love you, morning wood. Morning wood.
Rise and shine. Happy Devil's Monday. This is the Morning Woo. Coming to you live from the Primetime Radio Studios inside the bunker in an undisclosed location in beautiful New Jersey. Streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, X Live, Twitch, and Instagram Live on the Let's Go Devils Network. Not feeling it this morning, folks. Not feeling it this morning. This Western road trip, as a podcaster, as a New Jersey Devils fan, covering this Western road trip was like a marathon, and it went so long. It felt like it was so long because of the time zone differences, the debacles, 3 of them against Colorado, San Jose, and last night in Anaheim. It had a mixture of uniqueness with playing the LA Kings while the Dodgers were playing Game 7 in the World Series against the Toronto Blue Jays. Watching the Toronto Blue Jays choke like the Toronto Maple Leafs. This past week, we've learned a lot about the New Jersey Devils, how good they are. They started the trip on an 8-game heater, meaning they won 8 in a row, tops in the National Hockey League, and they head to Colorado for the second half of a home and home, and absolutely got blown out and shellacked, and we're lucky that they only gave up 8 goals against Colorado. Jacob Markstrom was in net. He looked horrible at times. It was kind of expected because he was coming off of an injury. We all knew that beginning this Western trip was going to be tough with Brett Pesce out, not making the trip. Cody Glass as well, out. You put new guys in like Lamico, Seamus Casey playing 1 game in Utica after coming off injury, then having to fly out to Colorado because of the injuries. And I'm not making injuries an excuse. The Devils have enough firepower and enough manpower to get the job done. But as what Max says in the YouTube Live, Happy Devils Monday to you, Max, he says, I learned Brett Pesce is very valuable to this team. And I agree. But that debacle in Colorado should have been very humbling that the Devils are not the best team in the NHL, even though at that time period, their record stated so. Fast forward 2 days later on a Thursday night, last Thursday night, They play the San Jose Sharks, a rebuilding team that, again, like Colorado, they beat at home just the week prior. And the Devils get spanked. Absolutely spanked by the San Jose Sharks. They got eaten up. They were the bait. And the Sharks just tore them apart, beating the Devils 5-1. Jake Allen didn't particularly had a good game. The Devils at times looked a little lethargic. Were you concerned after that loss? It was very humbling. After losing both games to the Avalanche and the San Jose Sharks. And remember, as fans, we're staying up really late at night to watch our team just flounder. Then comes the news on Halloween night that Jacob Markstrom signs a 2-year extension. 2-year extension. $6 million AAV. Devils settle their goalie situation for the next 3 years, not having to worry. Now that they can start planning other possibilities, knowing what their cap budget is. But why Halloween night? I don't know. Did someone just want to write up the press release and just send it instead of waiting the next morning? But it doesn't really matter. I'm just poking fun at it. We did the Woo Report on Halloween night. But again, covering this team on this Western trip has been pretty exhausting. Like a marathon. Metalander says, not an elite team. Happy Devils Monday to you. NY Davey, Michael Daniel in the Instagram Live. Happy Devils Monday to you as well. Then comes Saturday. Los Angeles Kings and the Devils. Kings fans watching the baseball game, the World Series on the Jumbotron, simultaneously watching the Devils actually dethrone them. I'll use that word, dethrone them. It was a great night. It was a unique night for the Let's Go Devils podcast. Talk about dedication. We pulled off Game Day Live while I was in the middle of Pennsylvania where there's like nobody there, like no infrastructure. You're lucky you even get a cell signal. But we did it. We try to serve our fellow Devils fan with this podcast. And then Devils After Dark, Scotty was at the game outside of Crypto.com Arena. We had LA fans behind Scotty, Dodgers fans, and we kind of experienced, a little bit of the World Series as well. But Devils getting the victory in LA. I believe it was 5-2. Dawson Mercer in Fuego right now. He's scoring goals. He's contributing. And then last night, the debacle. The Ducks were ready for the New Jersey Devils. Devils down from the start, losing 4-1. But really didn't get things going until it was way too late in the middle of the third period. Nico Hischier gets attacked. Dawson Mercer gets a penalty out of it. Karma's a bitch. Dawson Mercer out of the box, a little bit of cherry picking, finds Jack Hughes. Jack Hughes makes it 3-1. The Devils had many chances on net. Where was this energy the entire game? Defense didn't look good most of the night. Shimon Nemec looked terrible. Absolutely terrible against the Ducks. Jacob Markstrom against the Kings the night before had 44 saves, which meant the Devils let up 45 shots against LA. And if it wasn't for Markstrom, the Devils wouldn't have won that game. Wouldn't have beaten the Kings. But they were okay defensively. But last night, Bryce Salvador was saying maybe it's because of the amount of games that they've been playing lately. Maybe fatigue setting in. Yeah, well, even when you're fatigued, I mean, you got to make right decisions. Are they just getting too tired where they're just making stupid passes up the middle? Not using the boards? I don't get this team sometimes. I almost wanted to say same old Devils. They always revert to bad habits. I don't mind losing games if you're playing the game the right way, but the laziness at times. And what I mean by laziness is, all right, maybe it's not the right word, laziness, because they do work hard. It is a physical game, but just the stupid decision making sometimes. You got to stay disciplined. You can't be taking unnecessary risks with no reward at all. Oh my goodness, says Dostal did play very well though. Yes, he did. He did. The last game against the Ducks unfortunately remind me of last year's team. Leaky defense, streaky goaltending, chances everywhere, but can't finish. Not a recipe for success. No. Steve Engel. Yeah, I forgot to add in Connor Brown. Downtown Connor Brown is down. Also Kovacevic. Yeah, they are severely missed. But again, like I said, they have enough firepower to do some damage, even with the guys out. You shouldn't have to wait for Brett Pesce to come back to block shots or play your position defensively and clog up the passing and shooting lanes. It's not hard, folks. Max says they did look like they were forcing everything when things didn't go their way. They just throw in the towel and say, we can't, instead of continuing. At least we have some time off here. Dubzilla says, Sam, I was telling you at the Avs game, we didn't realize how important the bench coach Pesce is. Without smart defense, you can't win. Just a fact. Well, then FaceTime Pesce to the bench or something, if that's true. All the pieces that are missing, even forwards, are key defensive pieces. Says, oh my goodness. They are. I mean, part of it's personnel, but still, it's a team concept, folks. Even with these guys missing, we're talking about defense here. I'm not talking about scoring. I can understand if Jack Hughes, Timo Meier, Jesper Bratt, and let's just add in there Dawson Mercer, and Nico Hischier all go down with injuries. Yeah, I can understand. But we're talking about defense here. We're talking about Shimon Nemec out of position most of the game. We have to go back to basics. The Devils need to stay disciplined. What does discipline mean? Let the play come to you. Don't overextend yourself on the play. What do I mean by that? Remember when Jacques Lemaire was coach years ago, you capitalize on the opponent's mistakes. But you have to be patient. Be patient. And what we were seeing was, look, instead of dumping the puck into the zone, I'll make a risky pass to no man's land, and somehow the Ducks have the puck going the other way. Stuff like that just annoys me. I understand you want to score. That's obviously the obvious goal for any individual on the team. But you got to play smart. Puck management. Puck possession. Making sure you're not a liability on the ice. Steve Dartagnan says 60 minutes compete not there despite injuries. Max says they all have iPads. Have Pesci on speed dial. Yeah, New Jersey Devils, if you want me to virtually bring in Brett Pesci to the bench, and I'll set it up for you free of charge, if that's what it takes to play good defense, which I'm a big fan of, I'll do it. I'll have Brett Pesci. I'll have like an iPad. Heck, I'll put a 32-inch screen TV on the bench with Pesci's headshot face, and then I'll have some speakers and microphones, and they could talk to Brett. Hey, Brett, should I start blocking shots? Of course you're supposed to be blocking shots, you idiot. And then you could have that. If that's true, if that is what it takes, I'll do it. And I'll extend that offer to Tom Fitzgerald. Steve Tortaya says Bradshaw needs to keep the boys after school. Yeah, you got to work on this. I get it. You want to, now everything right now is scheduling the players, not trying to burn them out. But right now, you got to put in the extra time if you want to solve these problems. I mean, the great athletes of our time, like Tom Brady, comes to mind, Kobe Bryant, they put in the extra time when no one was looking. It's well documented that Kobe Bryant was up 4 a.m. every day practicing. Or Tom Brady in the gym like a gym rat at midnight throwing passes to garbage cans to try to get himself better. I think the Devils need to put in the extra time and fix this now. Otherwise, you're just going to be a mediocre team. We're going to have the same old Devils. It's a roller coaster ride. During that 8-game heater, it was nice because you knew what to expect. We talked about defense. We talked about special teams. We talked about shutting down the opponent. That should be your number one focus. And let the goals come to you. Max says, Sam, can you send out the jersey now? All right. I'll make an attempt today, but again, it's really hard for me to do that. But I'll do it since it was brought to my attention last night that Markstrom has the same amount of points and assists as Palat, which begs the question, Palat, what the hell have you been doing this entire time? I see him make plays besides scoring. I mean, he does hit. He does do some of the little things okay, but at $6 million AAV, what the heck are you doing? Oh my goodness, has an open message for Brett Pesci. Hey, Brett, should I make this pass all the way across my own zone so the other team can intercept it right? Okay, so it wasn't a letter to Brett. It was more of mimicking one of the New Jersey Devils asking Brett a question. My apologies. Max says he should be stripped of an A, in my opinion, and give it to Brett. Or Brat. Sorry. These freaking glasses. I can't even read anymore. Let me tell you, just a word of advice. I've said this before. If your eye doctor says you should have bifocals and all that kind of stuff, refuse it. It sucks. It actually makes your eyes worse. Anyway, getting back to the podcast. Dubzilla, Shaw has to get them back on track. You got 3 days to correct it because you got the Montreal Canadiens coming into Prudential Center at the Rock. We'll be there, by the way. Montreal's a top-tier team right now. They had a hot start of the season. You got 3 days to figure it out and come back on Thursday where you're undefeated at the Rock and try to fix this problem before it gets worse. And then, by the way, division rival, the Pittsburgh Penguins, coming in at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. Hate these matinee games. On Saturday. You got to figure this thing out. Otherwise, what's their Devils record right now? 9-4. Suddenly you're 9-6, and you don't look as sexy as you did in the beginning of the season. Again, let's temper our expectation. Let's not focus on results at the moment. This early in the season, let's focus on fixing this defense. I can't believe I'm saying this because we were bragging about how great they shut down the opposition. Could it be fool's gold? Could it be that the other teams were just getting out of preseason and didn't really have their stuff together? And now they do, and Devils are having a tough time. Devils have to adjust. Max says, hopefully Glass and Brown are back for Thursday. Yes, Devils need their bottom six intact. Connor's been kind of, I had high hopes for Connor, but he hasn't done much. Unfortunately. I want to see him succeed. I want him to be physical. I want him to have an impact. It's just not seeing it. All right, well, got to head off to work right now on this beautiful Happy Devils Monday. Dropping the podcast in about 10 minutes. It's going to suck. I know I'm going to get in the car. I'm already pissed off, tired, after covering this team on this Western trip. Late nights, getting to bed at 1, 2 a.m. in the morning. Now I got to sit in traffic. But I got 3 days to get it together. As we're going to be on the big stage at American Whiskey for the Devils take on the Montreal Canadiens. We got 3 days to get our stuff together. Rejuvenize. Re-energize. Clean slate. Let's keep this winning streak at home, at the Rock. That would be nice. So when you go to work today, the ceremonial sip, folks, let's hope the Devils can figure it out. Because this is driving us insane. Yes. Just let's hope the Devils can figure it out in the next 3 days. And I'm sure there's going to be some news, some buzz coming out. But let's drink to this. That the Devils will be ready on Thursday. Taking the ceremonial sip right now. All right, I want to thank all those tuning in. And set your alerts on all of our social media pages. At Let's Go Devils on YouTube. At Let's Go Devils Pod on X. Also, at Let's Go Devils Podcast for Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch. And remember, you can search us on the World Wide Web for our podcasts. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music Prime, Audible, and on the iHeart app. Till next time, this is the Morning Woo. Let's go Devils.
Morning, I love